Guess I should push the button to start the stream. Thank you all for being here. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you are all doing really, really well. Gonna do something a little different today. We have traditionally had like a 4 to 5 hour marathon stream, and we're gonna try to do something a little bit smaller, a little bit like 2.5 hours. We're gonna be very deliberate with this because I want to experiment with something. So I want to see if I could pull off doing 2 streams in a week on the regular. I'd love to have a daytime stream and a nighttime stream and actually get stuff accomplished. We'll see if that's possible. Lane, good to see you, Lane. I did not get to build on your map yet, but I really want to. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I just got back to Wisconsin. I visited my friend in the Bay Area, and it's been good to be home, but it was great to visit as well. Never catch a live stream? Fishy, thank you for being here. How many viewers from all around the world? What does everyone let me know? Where are you guys tuning in from? In the meantime, I've got to give you guys some shouts. Just Panhead, thank you so much for the super chat on YouTube. Would I rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games but no games? Yes, it is. Well, I love bacon, but unlimited games, I feel like I lived that world already, and I love it. So that's the one I'd go with, just a Panhead. Professor Lithos, thank you so much for the 17 months of tier 1. Justin, thank you so much for the 4 months of Prime. Xavier, thank you for the 14 months of Prime. Robert the Brews, hello chat. Hello Robert, thank you for 7 months. And Redker, thank you so much for 10 months of Prime. Florida, Germany, UK, Tampa Bay, Finland, Tel Aviv, Germany, Oakland, San Antonio, Sweden, Dallas, Italy, Oklahoma City, Warsaw, Gothenburg, Austria, Iowa, Orlando. Just talking about a trip to Orlando soon. Maybe. Norway, Long Beach, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Vainglorious, good to see you here, buddy. It's been a little while since we talked. I've been so super busy. Good to see you. Utah, Chicago, Russia, Lithuania, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Sweden, Missouri, Ontario, Canada, Pennsylvania. Thank you all so much. Janesville, thank you for being here. I was just in Janesville last night. All right, so we are going to be building back in Nova Roma. Now, last stream we said that we were going to build the church and build around it. So that is likely going to take place right here. But we got one big problem. It's the finances. And I was thinking, guys, I've been troubleshooting the financial situation in Magnolia County, and I figured out what the issue is. And I don't know if I can fix it. I can, but I can fix it here. Do you know why the finances here are all out of whack? This. As much as I hate to admit this, tile upkeep is coming to bite us in the rear. And whenever you have this many resources on a map, even though it's much more realistic, even though it provides the players a greater degree of flexibility, this will kill your budget. So the whole reason why we've been struggling this entire playthrough with finances, with Economy 3.0, is there's just a lot of resources on this map. And I got to show you guys something. So I've been experimenting with this. You'll hear about it in the next Magnolia County video because I've been recording it. Watch what happens if I do this. So I'm going to take the fertile land away from just the places where we've developed our city. So right here, no longer a need for this. And just look at the budget. Make a liar out of me, City Skylines 2. So it's going to go in the wrong direction because I'm live, and that's what happens when you're live. When I've done this outside of a stream, it's improved my budget, and I don't know why it's not happy with me now, but yeah, this is how I think we're able to kind of fix the budget, and it's going to be kind of a stupid way of doing it, but basically I think that where we've developed, I need to remove fertile land and maybe other resources that we're getting credit for that we're not actually using and aren't helping us and are instead costing us a whole bunch of money just for existing. So we'll see if that fixes things for us. You think fertile land should go away automatically when you build, though? I completely agree. I think that all of it. Yeah, to me, it makes no sense. You watched the building the dam the next day. You went to Johnstown Flood Memorial. It's cool to see how realistic I made my build. I appreciate that. The dam build, one of the more controversial ones in some regards, because a lot of people didn't understand why I didn't make it functional. That just wasn't the point. The point of that build was strictly to build a reservoir in the most realistic way for a Californian reservoir. And those generally, there are some, like I think Shasta has a hydroelectric component, but most of the time the reason those exist is for water storage. So that's why I made it the way that I did, and I tried to make it as realistic as possible. You love the dam, Icy? Thank you, appreciate that. You lived in Miami for a few years and you don't miss the rivers of sweat. Okay. Removing fertile land from the starting tiles shouldn't affect the budget, should it? Oh, you make a good point. It shouldn't. Okay. I just removed a bunch We don't actually have much tile upkeep here. The budget just sucks because the budget sucks. Because our city's not balanced well. I'll tell you what. New Dresden. Oh, don't use a point. I learned something. If you use the point, you break the save. So I will say New Dresden 7 part 1. I want to take a look. So we currently have our tile upkeep's 155,000. So let's load back into the original. I want to see if all of the removal I just did mattered at all. We're about to buy a tile, so it is going to matter somewhat for us. But I am curious if you're right. I think you might be, that the initial tiles aren't going to provide any upkeep. Can I increase the tariffs? Only randomly and without much thought given to it. Yeah, I can, yes. But only on myself. I feel like tariffing the entire world would be a bad idea. It is slightly lower, it looks like. So I must have purchased a tile somewhere along the line. This is one of the few times you can catch a live stream, man. I'm going to try to keep it not spicy. I'm having a good day. I can't get crazy and upset people. Glad to hear you're a very small island and very much incognito. Then you get the highest tariffs, particularly if there are no people there. That's what will tariff. If you are on an island without people, we will tariff you 2,000%. Just so that you know. All Access Gaming, thank you for the super chat. You need to trim your city down, 290,000 population. At this point, it all seems like you're doing is running around fixing everything. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember when I first figured out what urban planning was, wondering why would a city that already exists, that isn't growing, why would it need a planner? It's not growing all that much. You realize that half of what city development is down the line is just fixing things. Cities are just constantly evolving and changing. So I think when you have a city that's 290,000 all access gaming, you got to keep, you're at the fun point where you get to keep evolving and iterating and changing. That's pretty cool. That's a fun part. Tax the penguins on it. Okay. So a couple of things that I've done since the last stream. Obviously we have $5.7 million, and that is a very deliberate number. The reason that we have that much is to place the church. We need to have, was it 5.6? 5.6 million. This costs almost $300,000 per month in upkeep, and that's why I am very concerned. I think that the moment that I place this thing, we're going to lose all of the money. So I'm going to get maybe a little bit cheeky for just a second. And crank the simulation and show you the other things. The other things that I've done, I filled in a couple blocks around here. The death wave thing, I don't know if you guys are experiencing this too. In all of my builds, I get a death wave every, 6 months or so. And it goes away after a little while. But you got to have a lot of death care. So the whole reason why I filled in these couple of blocks over here was so that I could add in this crematorium and kind of clean this up. Same with trash. Yeah. Well, so with trash, it's been interesting. I went through Magnolia County and I made a couple of fixes quietly. Basically, I saw that the best way to describe it would be to show you. So at some buildings like this, it looked like trash care where trash was not being collected. And I noticed that as some of the extractors leveled up, the entry point moved. And when the entry point moved, garbage was no longer being collected. So it was a weird thing. So I had to go through the map and just make sure that all of the extractors were connected. It's very, very strange. You get the death waves too? Yeah. They don't seem to do much. they're just more irritating to look at than anything. Like I like at this point, like I want them to stop. Clearly, I don't like them. I will. To me, it seems broken. I wish I could kind of just turn off the icons too, because I'd be fine with them zooming around the map and like having gigantic death waves if I didn't have to look at that silly icon. And the icon drives me more crazy than the actual reality of what's happening. Hi from Connecticut. Pika. Good to see you here. You have that issue too, Icy? Yeah. Trash. Yeah. Frustrating. Anyway, so that's what I've done. So I did this block at the end of the last stream. We were working on this block and I just kind of filled it in. I tried to make it feel a bit more complete, and reasonably, I think I could probably spend this stream just decorating the insides of these, but we're not going to do that. I'm gonna control myself, because the real goal is to build the church probably right about here. We said we were going to place it on the hill. So I'm thinking right here, chat. The other location, I don't really know that there's another location, honestly. I mean, I guess let's see the size. We could go nuts, but that would just destroy this entire area. I think that little hill right here. What do you guys think? It's fine. A lot of people die as long as it isn't annoying to me. You understand my line of thinking now. As long as I don't have to see it. 300,000 in upkeep? Nope. You have enough to deal with. Death waves are avoidable. Build a small village of 10,000 to 30,000. So you think I could avoid it? I just need to not build things. Here's the problem. You said 10,000 to 30,000 all access gaming. I have a population of 17,000 and I still have a death wave. That said, we are spread out, and I've thought about that because of the way that I like to build. I don't like to build just like Segunda Beach is the first build in a while where I've kind of kept everything relatively close and I haven't spread out. This build, I started Magnolia Countying it and having this one, couple of roads linking things together. And as a result, everyone's funneling through this little roundabout thing. And of course, that means the death care is all screwed up too. And I believe at this point I've districted it out. Did I? Yeah, I've got it within a district. I spent some time playing this without you guys. I feel a little bad, but not that bad. Like the stream, honest villain. You're not a villain to me. I appreciate you encouraging people to engage. Okay. We're going to do it. The peninsula would be cool for a church. Let's just see the size and then I'll let you guys vote on it. So if we were to put it here, we'd have to build it up a little bit, maybe put some rocks around it. But the peninsula actually is just about the size of the church. So we'd have to take some liberties. We could do it. We can make it happen. The other location is right here. And if we place it right here, I'm probably going to make us go bankrupt by trying to make it look even. So I'm going to leave it to you. You see I'm on CS2, you're on the remastered CS1. That is, if you're playing remastered CS1, that's the finest version of CS1 in my opinion. But for that UI. Gosh, is the UI bad. The UI makes no sense to me. Okay, Twitch, I'm gonna let you vote. Just don't put it in a flammable area? So you mean I should build fire protection? I don't do that. That seems like a problem. Where should we put church? On the hill? On the peninsula. Boom. 1 minute vote. You don't know, peninsula? May you rig? You may rig. Listen, if you're on YouTube and you're wondering why I vote so much on Twitch, It's specifically because I love rigging the vote. I think it's fun. Classic American election. It's fake news. The peninsula gives quicker access to Jesus. Does it? I think it would be a show, like a really interesting showpiece. I mean, that, or we could put Lenin on the peninsula. That's just what they had in Rome, I heard. You just get Lenin, you put him on the peninsula. We don't have the tourist attractions, but the bronze statue of Lenin holding the globe, looking over the water. Holy cow. YouTube, the vote is within 20 and they're cheating. It's within 10 now. It's tied. Oh my goodness. Bueno Churro, I don't know how many votes you contributed. You contributed 635 channel points. It's going on the peninsula. And it won by 2 votes, 739 to 737. So if you've ever wondered if your vote matters, it does. It does. I think that's great. I'm not going to do a YouTube photo finish. Bueno Churro over here either wasted all of his channel points or spent them all and got the outcome that he wanted. I'm not sure which one it is. Bueno, what did you want? I want to know. See, you guys, voting matters. I think that Bueno Churro got their desired outcome. The church would never survive a natural disaster, therefore it cannot be an old church. Or it's a rebuilt church. Your browser wouldn't refresh fast enough. That's super. It's both super sad and also, I love a photo finish. It's like I played NBA 2K with my friends over the weekend, and it was Bucks versus Lakers. And if you guys don't know anything about sports, you're probably like, I don't really know anything about that. I don't care. That's fine. I was winning most of the game. Then I started losing. And then at the very end, I caught back up and I went up by 2. And then at the last minute, no, I went up by 1. It was 1 because they ended up winning at the buzzer. And I didn't even care. Didn't even care. Because if you're going to lose in the last 3 seconds, you've had a heck of a game. Lots of fun. Put Lenin there. We could put Lenin above the church, off on this over here. This to me feels like Zelda. That's why I kind of like it. I kind of dig it. You know a lot about sports, just not the American ones. I mean, technically, I feel like Americans like to take credit for basketball. Technically, basketball is Canadian, just like hockey. The Canadians are just good at inventing sports. Since when was Lenin a baller? In cities he is. Okay. I think I'm going to do pedestrian access only to this. So do something like this. We need the Temple of Time as an asset in CS2 confirmed. Agreed. I've been watching my wife play Zelda a lot. It's weird. We got it. I'm talking the new one. The newest one. And she didn't play, like she played it for a little while and then kind of gave up, which was surprising to me because she's such a big Zelda fan. And then recently she picked it up again. And it's just been like every time I go in the living room, going at it. It's been great to see. It's too cold in Canada for basketball, so they pass down to the USA. I mean, I'm basically in the Canadian temperature zone because all the Canadians live very close to the US. So I feel like it's I am maybe not. Okay. To be fair, I guess I met a guy from Winnipeg when I went to the Grand Canyon. Oh, that's terrible. What am I doing? I met a guy from Winnipeg when I went to the Grand Canyon, and he told me that it was like -50 there in the winter. And I don't even know if it was Celsius or Fahrenheit. And he's like, what do you experience in Madison? And I was like, not that. That's next level. That's a level of cold that I hope to never experience more than like once or twice. Can't be Celsius? I guess what would that be? What would -50 be in Fahrenheit? Or -50 Celsius to Fahrenheit. That would be something ridiculous, right? -54? Okay, that's not that crazy then. Don't use Winnipeg as the benchmark for Canada. I'm using him as the very friendly guy that I talked to. We both talked to we were just hanging out while our wives were in the restroom. Winterpeg. It's -50 Celsius in Canada, no kidding. Wait, -40 C is -40 F. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Both of those are terrible. Like, both of those are so cold. Like, I've experienced that. And it's so cold. Well, no, I've experienced -30 Fahrenheit. When you get to that level, it's like you just don't want to exist outside. It's so cold that you're like your tears are freezing as they're going down your face, which is inevitably happening because you're so unhappy to exist in a place that cold at that point in time. Like it's all bad. It's all bad. So I can only imagine -50. You either are accepting of your lot in life and you're just like fine with it, which I don't know. Maybe you are. I doubt it. I saw it. So I saw him in Arizona in February, so probably not. Long winters here in the upper Midwest. Yeah. Funny thing is, we finally get some nice weather. And I go to San Francisco and it's colder there than it is here. It's like, what is this? I got out and I had shorts with me and I left my winter coat back home. I was like, I don't need this anymore. Got out of the plane. It was 50 degrees Fahrenheit and like sprinkling. I don't want that. Yuck. Worst part is the wind. I can only imagine. So with the church, there's this access on the side. So I think we're going to have a key wall. I was going to end this right here, but I think I'm going to wrap it around and then maybe end it. There's like all of these opportunities to dive off a cliff. Do I have to wrap the whole thing? It doesn't feel like I should have to, but it almost feels like I have to. I haven't actually built with this before. There's a fire door that falls off a cliff. Yeah. I guess for this one right here, I could modify this. I could get rid of these, add a fence piece in and trap the people inside and then maybe end the key wall right here. And then on this side, same thing. But then we have this. So I either add my own fence, which is fine. Just thinking strategically for a second. Should name the church after the Pope who just passed. I could do that. I am not Catholic myself, but I'm happy to name the. I mean, I believe this is a Catholic church, so I'm happy to do that. Although if there are any Parisians, I don't know if they're going to be very upset by that. Great location for baptisms. That's true. That's true. When you go to get baptized, all you do is they tell you to walk out back and you just fall into the water. That's perfect. Myrtle Street. We have to leave that. You know where this is going now. You know exactly where this is going. Don't worry about it. Name the cathedral after Myrtle. Notre Dame de Francis e Myrtle. There. That's Spanish, which is not really useful either. And now I'm confusing everything. Very iconic contributing note. Notre Dame was in a fire. Yeah, that's super dark. That's super dark. And not at all what I was going for. Catching a stream on your birthday. Let's go. Hey, Haste, have a happy birthday. Hopefully it's going well. Hopefully I'm not destroying it for you. That is not my goal. Shoot. So because I used the roundabout, I end up with it looking jank. But if I don't use the roundabout, I get the little icon. The only way to prevent the icon is the roundabout or upgrading it. I guess maybe I just roll with that. It's way bigger than I wanted it to be. But it looks much better. I think that works. Can't subscribe with Prime until you get home. Pika. Not a big deal either way, man. I just appreciate you hanging out. So thank you. Cul-de-sac. Yeah, the cul-de-sac. If I add the cul-de-sac, so if you add the cul-de-sac to the one-way pedestrian road, it makes all of that jank go away. It stops blinking at you. So I generally like to add them because I personally much prefer the 2-unit wide pedestrian road to the 4-unit wide one. To me, it just looks much better. This is so wide, but they're one way, and it's not one way for pedestrian. Like I've seen people say, "Oh, isn't it one way for pedestrians?" No, it's only one way for garbage trucks and like stuff like that. But if you have the roundabout, for whatever reason, it works. I don't know if it causes despawning. I don't really care. Makes the blinking go away. Yeah, I could wrap it around that would do the trick as well. Looks nicer with the key wall. Voice for the elite. Thank you. Appreciate my work. Appreciate you. Thank you. When will the new Respect Topography hoodie be available? I'm not sure. So I'm working. So I know who I want to print it. They're not sure if they want to print it for me. And if they won't do it, I need to find a local option. And honestly, I might just go for a local option, find a local Madison area printer, and then do something that I'm not incredibly excited to do, but willing to give a shot to. And that is just doing all of the deliveries myself. So I'm not satisfied with the quality. I just don't think it turned out as well as I wanted it to. That's like Komrowski gave the exact same feedback that like it just kind of doesn't feel premium, and I want it to. So as a result, I'm holding it back for the time being. So we'll get it, but I want it to be super nice. I want it to basically. I don't want it to feel like YouTuber merch garbage. Like that's always been like my goal is not to have YouTuber merch garbage. So, well, okay. Maybe personally delivered was the wrong word. What I mean is I will personally be the one dropping it in the mailbox, which also means that maybe I can give you a handwritten thank you, because I do think that if you're gonna spend your money on the merch, and I'm delivering it, it'd be nice to thank you. So we'll see. I'm figuring some stuff out. But I will be honest, I feel like I have a couple of lingering things now that I'm not that are not getting taken care of. So it's one of the things on the plate. The other one is behind me. I have half of a computer, and probably I'm hoping 2 weeks from now on stream, I'm building 2 computers, and then we start the giveaway. It's gotta get done. City Planners cross country FedEx delivery service. I'm done making videos. Now I just drive around the country, the world, personally getting tariffed as I deliver packages. So that is the other thing. Like, I don't know how all of that plays into this. And I think that if I am printing it locally, I will learn a whole heck of a lot about tariffs. So very excited to learn about that and pay those. It sounds very exciting. What am I doing? Will international shipping be available? That is my goal. My goal is that, because most people who watch the channel are international, not in the US. So I think it would be foolish to not have international available, and kind of a disservice to everyone. So we'll see. That's why I'm still very much hoping that there's a company that I know does really high quality stuff, and I have my manager talking to them, trying to convince them to do it, because they will for sure make international available. But the option that I have through Fourth Wall just isn't going to work, and I'm painfully aware of that. It's not good enough. I couldn't sell it to you. I would feel bad because it looks bad. And that's kind of universally that way. Like, I looked at a variety of things, and I just, like, everything from like a desk pad to the only thing that turned out okay is the cup, and I put that's available, but that's the only reason why it's available. What Mediterranean city am I using for inspiration? Rome, until I built this. Now we're just freestyling. City planner tariffs. I love tariffs. It's so smart. It's just, I can't believe we haven't been doing this forever. It's almost like it's a bad idea. It's a genius move. Big brain. 4-dimensional chess. Love it. Print them outside the US to avoid tariffs. So through Fourth Wall, like, that's the big advantage of Fourth Wall, and the reason why I would have loved to go through them. And I do still have I still will talk to them as well and see if I can make that happen, because they print, I believe, in Lithuania. So that does avoid the tariffs. That's the only way that, like, with all of the super fun stuff going on, that I think I could avoid the tariffs for everybody. So yeah, we'll see. I'm working on it. The computer is going to be the other fun thing. Like, now I have deep regret for not moving faster on it, because I don't know. I guess I don't really fully know how the tariffs are going to interact with the computer. Like, I will try to help pay for them, as long as they'll let me. Like, I don't really know how it works. It brings a lot of uncertainty. If anyone is wondering what I want to talk about the computer, I have the components for kind of a mid-range gaming PC behind me. I just have to build it, and then we're gonna have a competition. And the goal was to make it international shipping, and I would just help pay for the shipping and the VAT or tariff or whatever it ends up being. I guess as long as you're not in China. Tariffs about a nightmare at work, Lane. Can't even produce your bids because prices are changing so fast. Yeah, it's absolute madness. That's not the way that that's not a rational way to lay out any sort of policy. And I say this as someone who's written policy. Like, It doesn't matter what the policy is. It doesn't matter if it's at the local level, the federal level, international. Like whenever you make policy, just people, even people who disagree with a policy, they just want it to be understandable and predictable and have a clear understanding of what expectations are. And I think that's the part that, like, it's just incoherent nonsense. And if anyone, nobody should be able to defend that. Like, if you're going to roll out a policy, I do believe, as long as you're not hurting anybody, if you win an election, it's kind of what you want, the ability to implement your policies. You didn't get the ability, though, to implement your policies in an incoherent and absolutely crazy way. Like, that's not what you want. North Korea still in the running? Do we have a trade deficit with North Korea? Guess not. So yes, I guess if you are in the People's Republic of North Korea, you can definitely participate in the computer giveaway. Unfortunately, your problem then is that you don't have the same internet I do. What part of 3,500% is arbitrary and incoherent? None of it. I mean, that makes total sense to me. It's total sense. I love it. It's my favorite. Congrats on the job offer. Wait, Luigi, #1 fan. What job offer did you get? And congratulations. I completely missed it. You have a trade deficit with Amazon? They need to stop taking advantage of you? Me too. I also have a trade deficit at this point with this Venezuelan restaurant that I keep going to because their food's just so darn good. So I'm going to force them to watch my YouTube videos so that the trade deficit goes away. Maybe then we'll be in an okay spot. But until then, I'm going to tariff them. You got a trade deficit with your college? They owe you $80K, Pika. Oh man, I have so many trade deficits with colleges. Does every sub have a trade deficit with me? First Necron, you're on it. You totally get it. I have so many trade deficits. The real question is, do we consider a prime a trade deficit? Because if you don't use it, you lose it. Like me, maybe I shouldn't admit this. I haven't used my prime because I don't know how to. I will figure it out. I just keep buying them instead because I'm apparently not appreciative enough of Bezo bucks. Yeah, I know. I haven't used my prime. I actually have, I don't know if I have two. I might have two primes because I have business prime and home personal prime. So yeah. Actually, to be frank, it's a little not intuitive. It's almost like that's part of the game plan. I've seen some streamers have a nice convenient link where they're like, if you want to support me, here's a great way to do it. And there's a link on their page. I'm just not that organized or that smart. So as a result, I don't do that. I should. Appreciate you, Phil. You've been using ChatGPT to work through your trust issues with CS2. You were impressed with the insightful guidance and you're now fully engaged and excited about a build for the first time. How did you use ChatGPT? I'm curious. Not because I'm going to steal your idea. I'm not. I'm just curious because I found myself using ChatGPT in a way that was very helpful the other day. And I love starting AI discussions, getting people mad at me. You're using your Prime on your, thank you. Thank you. You haven't decided what to study yet? Faxdom? You're considering something related to urbanism? How well paid is a city planner job? Is there much demand? So there's as much demand as your local area cares about planning. And unfortunately, the pay is commensurate with how much your community cares about planning as well. So I worked in the Madison area. So when I was working for a local municipality, I was paid, I'll put it this way. I have a master's degree. I have a master's degree and a decade of experience as an urban planner, and I never made six figures. So from that perspective, not so good. Every friend I know that has a master's degree in anything else made way more money than me and got stock and got X, Y, and Z. So I made I was solidly fine. I was able to buy a house. My kids could go to daycare, but also I had a financial planning spreadsheet that I would look at every single weekend to make sure that we weren't going to overspend every week. So you'll make enough to get by in a city that cares about planning. Now, I made less than six figures in a city that cares about planning, and I had a ton of student loan debt. In a place that doesn't care about planning, and you could make as little as $32,000 a year with a master's degree and basically not be able to afford an apartment. So it's a tough thing. Like it's a career where you're almost incentivized to keep changing your job to try to make more money. Least overqualified YouTuber. Thanks, me Spylousen. Nicholas, I didn't realize you have a master's degree in theology. We can't argue religion on the internet. That is YouTuber suicide right there. Am I a city planner in normal life? I was. Being a YouTuber and being a planner are not super compatible, and I learned that while I was planning. So yeah. So basically, I would say this, and this is one of the first things I was taught in planning. Not taught, but one of the first things I had a professor who said nobody got into planning to get rich. So if you get into planning, it's because you genuinely care about urbanism. You genuinely care about your community. You want to influence the process, and you think that is the best way for you to do it. You don't get into planning because you want to be well paid. If you want to be well paid and you want to be involved in planning, get into planning law. But then you're a lawyer, which is fine if you want to be a lawyer, but it's definitely different. I enjoyed planning law a lot, though. If I weren't a planner, I could definitely see a world where I would have enjoyed planning law. You're a city planner too? And I would you consider it a well-paid profession? I'd consider it a solidly middle-class profession that you have to go to school for a lot. They call it public service for a reason. I mean, it's yeah. It's one of the reasons why every time I see attacks on public sector employees, it's like you're attacking the person that decided to go to college for a long time to try to improve their community and accept way less money and then constantly get their benefits cut. Like you've got to be a little bit crazy to get into public sector work. You got to really be passionate about something that many other people are not, and be willing to take less money to do it, which I was. I thought it was great. Would be nice if you could pay your bills and make good money doing something you enjoy. You can become a consultant then. As much as I hate to say that, I started my career in consulting and I made more money at my first job than I did at my first two public sector jobs. And that I'm saying that while I was in grad school, I made more money as a consultant. And, when I left, I mean, not only was I making more money, but then I had perks. So they got to have whatever coffee I wanted in the office. We had wine on some Fridays. Do you think as a public sector employee, it's ever going to fly for me to drink wine in the office? No way. But as a consultant, I got some wine. Got some wine in the office. They took me out to pizza and we had like a lunch on the company's dime. If I met goals in terms of my billable hours, they give me Starbucks gift cards for free. Lots of different things. You triple your salary when you left Treasury for Microsoft, Gary? I'm not at all surprised. Sucks though, because you're so like like people think that government workers are freeloaders, but the fact that Gary was able to go from the Treasury to Microsoft shows you just how damn intelligent Gary is, and that, you know, like was accepting a gigantic pay cut for the betterment of society. You know, it's one of those things. You halved yours from engineer to planner. That's not right. That's not right. How did I become a consultant? What did I consult? I was a planning consultant. I was working as an intern. And I was, you know, I had a feed of jobs that were coming my way. I was still in grad school, and this job came up working for an active transportation consulting firm, where I would get to work on bike, transit, and pedestrian projects. And I thought to myself, boy, like my real interest in planning is transportation. So if I had the opportunity to get this job, I would just like, that would be the perfect start to my career. Even though I would have much preferred been to be in the public sector, it seemed like a great job. So I shot my shot. I just applied. And interestingly, after I applied, someone who worked at the firm ended up going to my grad school, and they were, I think they were like judging projects or something like that. So I was like, whoa, so you work at this firm? I just applied there. You know, like, what do you like about working there? I wasn't like, hook me up with a job. I was like, tell me about what it's like to be there. What's your favorite part of working there? Just tried to make myself not sound super thirsty and like desperate. Like, I didn't want it to sound like, what can you do for me? I just want to know what your experience is like. And they told me, and that resonated, and they ended up being on the interview panel. So like having that like random encounter with them at grad school, and that night actually, we ended up going out, like it was basically all the people who had finished their project went out for drinks, and those same people were there, and had a nice discussion. So yeah, weird connections like that. So I ended up working on lots of transportation projects out west. I ended up working in Wyoming on a bunch of random stuff. Bus restructuring in Seattle. Had never been to Seattle up until that point, but when you guys were getting your bus rapid transit system, I got to help restructure the bus routes around it. And then what else? A lot of stuff in California, a lot of stuff out in Denver. Do I think it'll be difficult to get a job right now with all the layoffs? Well, you got to understand the layoff. Well, I'm going to take a step back. Yes, I do think that this is not a great time. I would have said no because the layoffs are federal, but for one thing. So in the Madison area, we had a Federal Highway Administration office, and it got doged. So the office is now closed. They were told from what I hear through the grapevine, they were told to, they had to report back to the office, and then they got rid of the lease. So now there is no office. And then eventually they said, well, what we're actually going to do is just eliminate the Federal Highway Administration Madison office altogether. So from my understanding, everyone accepted the buyouts, and anyone who didn't got fired. So all of those people are now going to be looking for a job. So, and generally, those are the sorts of positions where I think a lot of people just expect, if you get your job at, federal highway is not a place where you start, at least around me. They paid better than some of the other planning jobs. It was a place where you ended your career, where once you had gathered a whole bunch of experience, now you take that experience to FHWA. And now that those planners, those very experienced planners, are out of a job, yeah, they're going to be in the general pool of people looking for a job. So that will make it harder, just inevitably. That said, entry-level jobs are not the same as non-entry level. And I've been in hiring panels where it's a clear entry-level job and someone with a ton of experience applies, and oftentimes they won't get the job because of fear that, they're not, either they're overqualified and they're not going to stay in the role. Lots of reasons. America's a crazy place right now. Hope it all gets better. Yeah. Just not a huge fan of government employees losing their jobs arbitrarily, personally, but give us an unpopular opinion regarding urbanism. I feel like I did that recently. That I am really falling out of love with bike lanes, that I think that they're used incorrectly more than they're used correctly. I feel like they're being used as basically as a way to make it seem like you're bike friendly without actually becoming bike friendly. It's a way to not rebuild roads to the appropriate size, but instead to say, well, now we have to keep the road this size because now it's a bike lane. It's a great engineering trick. It's a great engineering trick. Now I don't have to spend any money rebuilding that road. I feel the exact same way. And this is going to be the hottest of the hot takes. This is the new one. I worked on a program called 20 is Plenty. And I don't agree with it anymore. I don't know that I fully agree with it at the time. I have no problem with 20 miles per hour being the speed limit. I think that should be the speed limit, or 20 kilometers. That's where it came from. My problem with it is that can only happen if you also rebuild the roads, and you rebuild the roads so that the roads are designed, the design speed is lower. And the problem in my area, and I think it's super foolish, is we've basically said 20 is plenty. We're going to put up a $500,000 worth of road signs advertising the new speed limit, but then we're not going to rebuild the roads. So the design speed of a road is still 35, 40 miles per hour. But now we're telling people only go 20. And what that inevitably does is creates a speed differential. And I just like, it doesn't take, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that having some people going 20 and some people going 40 is going to lead to some pretty calamitous situations. It's pretty dumb, in my opinion. But I never had enough influence to prevent that. No one's going to go 20? No, you are so wrong. No, if you design the road to be narrow, people will go 20. But the problem is you end up with these super wide roads that are 4 times wider than they have to be. And they say 20 is plenty. Go 20. I am generally the pace car. I am not, as a planner, I believe in going the speed limit. But even I can't get behind that because I don't want people passing me. Like I've tried to go 20 on these roads just to see what happens. So 20 miles per, so that's the other funny thing about it. They'll say it's 20 kilometers is plenty, but then you get here and they'll say 20 is plenty. It's miles per hour. You can't have a wide road and say go that speed, because I got passed on one of these roads, and then someone got into a car like in front of me. As I got past, they got into a collision with the car in front of me, all because they wanted to go faster than I was willing to go. After that, I was like, all right, I'm not doing this. This is insanity. And I was at one point going around and trying to sell this, you know, like it's another reason why I didn't love my job and why I had to leave. Your neighborhood has super wide roads. A bunch of people park their trailers and campers on the street. That's not what a public street is for. Like, and I like, so I would hear those arguments like, oh, you gotta leave people room to park their boats. Like, no, you don't. I don't really care. Like, that's not what your public road is for. You want to park your boat, go to the fairgrounds. I don't know. Not my problem. Like, it doesn't need, like, that's not what the street's for. Or, I need to have a super wide street so I can park all the cars on Thanksgiving. Also, not my problem. My problem is the other 99% of the time where the road is super wide, now people are speeding down your road, hitting kids. Like, it's the bigger concern. Don't sign, design. I like that. See, if I were as smart as you are branding, like maybe I could have won that argument in the meeting. I did not. I'm not that good. Do the police give fines if you exceed? No. I mean, so that's the other thing. So I would talk to police officers and they would say, I'm not doing anything. Like, that's no. Like, so what the police would do, because they don't want a hostile environment. Like just like post 2020 and all of the, you know, everything that happened with, you know, all of that, the cops, particularly in places that had those sorts of interactions, which Madison is one. We had the exact same sort of thing where there was a police shooting happen. When you have those sorts of interactions, they don't want to be seen as hostile. They don't want these negative interactions with the public to be the only interactions that people have with police. And so they were very open about that. They were like, we don't want to pull people over for going 20 miles per hour on a neighborhood street because that might be the only interaction that someone has with us. And like, I get that. But also, like, how do you enforce the speed if they don't want to do it? Yeah, Kedosha's one. There's a lot of them. Unfortunately. But yeah, traffic enforcement is the bottom of the priorities list for police officers in urban areas. Go to a rural area, that's their primary concern. Well, it's also their primary revenue source in many of those areas. I mean, at least where I am, whenever the police would ask for money for certain things, they would get it, including speed enforcement. Like, I helped for a grant on that, but it doesn't really matter. Like, ultimately, it's their decision what they're going to do. And I understood the rationale that they had for not wanting to have that hostile interaction. But how can that policy be successful without enforcement? Design. I mean, I guess that would be it. Designing it appropriately. You think Wisconsin's a mess? I don't agree with that. Then again, I exist in a very specific part of the state. It's a big place. Quick question from you. You haven't played City Skylines since before CS2 was released. You've heard the game has had bad reviews, but is it worth playing today? The game was really rough on release, but I think the roughest part at release was that there were a lot of people that just couldn't even play the game. It's gotten a lot better. It's got issues still. I think if you have easy access to it, you've already paid for it. There's no reason not to play it now. I think it's in a very good place relative to where it was. If you haven't played it yet and you're on the fence and you enjoyed CS1, you'll probably enjoy it or aspects of it, but then you'll be disappointed by other things. At that point, I would ask what kind of computer you have. Because if you don't have a great computer, you might be in a rough spot. Like, well, the one regret I have, I play on a ridiculous PC. But I also feel like I need to. Like, you guys don't want to watch me struggle. You know what I mean? Like, look at my frame rate's 10 FPS, like, and I'm recording a video. No one wants to watch that. But I'm not showing you what everyone's experiencing. Nico, this is your first time on one of my streams. Love my videos. The storytelling and the building is great. Though I play cities differently now. You take your time. It's good. I think it's good to take your time. Do I think the US could benefit from an Autobahn type highway spreading from New York to LA? Infinity. Oh, you're making me regret what I did. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. So the next Magnolia County video, I'm gonna tell you guys something. I have really just like been feeling it with the videos lately. Like, I feel like I'm like in a groove. And I've decided to just kind of lean into some, like, I used to do more plannery stuff, and then for a while, like with some of the stuff with the game, I just like couldn't do it. But now I can again. And then in the next Magnolia County video, I will just tell you, I spend a bunch of time just like talking planning. I have a PowerPoint. There's a PowerPoint in the next Magnolia County, but I cut it down because I realized I just started like, I think I had like a 15-minute PowerPoint at one point, and that's not what the video's about. But I talked about the Autobahn in that PowerPoint, and now that PowerPoint will be divided over probably 3 or 4 videos. So just like I talk about it. Don't lose that question. Just know the Autobahn inspired the interstate system. So yeah, it's we're not ever gonna have no speed limit in the US ever. We struggle to get to 70. But the interstate was inspired by the Autobahn. Auto manufacturers could limit speeds to the listed speed limit in residential neighborhoods. You hate that idea? Probably safer than cops. Agreed, and it will never happen. The reason it'll never happen is there are lots of things like that that are like already theoretically possible, and they don't happen because personal liberty and like freedom, America, and people would riot if their car, I mean, and I get it. That looks dumb, I think. I went too hard. My car, it looks me in the eyes to see if I'm paying attention on the road, and it will, it starts to yell at me and turn off cruise control if I'm not paying close enough attention. And I feel like I can't be the only one that's not a huge fan of that. Montana has no speed limit on interstates. That's true. They must be foregoing some federal funding, because that's the only way that you can make that happen. Watching YouTube while driving. I mean, I legitimately can't take my eyes off the road for more than like 5 seconds. And then what drives me crazy is like, if I take a look at the screen, so I'm looking at the car itself, and it gets mad at me. That's not right. The Saguna Beach Dam episode is awesome with those first few minutes of theory, the added lore of the planning being discussed between the characters. So the next, so I experimented. Listen, you guys are guinea pigs on stream. Like the whole like PowerPoint and like diving in, like that whole Saguna Beach where like I had my face cam on and all that was like all an experiment. And I feel like it worked. So like that's going to become more of a thing. So yeah, like it's very similar to that. We're doing something very similar. So there's the church. I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of weird. Because now you look out this way and like the church is fitting the peninsula, but I feel like the architecture doesn't at all, like it doesn't acknowledge the city at all. It's just like we're over here doing our own thing. Ocarina of Time. See ya. Needs better integration. I don't know that I can. Like, I think the only way that I could have integrated it better would have been to rotate it, but I would have had to like just make my own terrain. Gosh, it looks terrible. Nah, that's super cool. Make the city acknowledge the architecture. Yeah, might be what has to happen. It's just this own little place. I don't like the only thing that I could do, like just thinking about it a little bit, to acknowledge this would be to reorient some of the grid. So, well, here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna go hard, chat. I probably should have saved. That would have been smart, but I'm not smart. I'm impulsive and wild. So as a result, we're just gonna roll with it. This road is now oriented to this. It's the same. They're parallel to one another. So maybe that's how we do it. And we use that to reorient. So we make this seem like it's the old part of the community. And maybe I even change the grid size. I wonder. This is 80. I'm gonna do that. We'll go 80. We'll say that there's like some vainglorious. Here's where I could use your theology degree. Like, would there be a reason for designing this based upon a specific dimension? So like, that looks bad. Basically, I'm thinking, so this is half the size of the church. So we're just basically bringing this through and saying, okay, now we've laid out our grid based upon the church. You're impulsive, wild, made a PowerPoint about the Autobahn. That's what I do. You can be impulsive, wild, and make PowerPoints about the Autobahn. It's true. Hi from Germany. Awesome to catch you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. A lot of old historic buildings that are a total pain in the butt in terms of the layout. This gives it history. This can be the old town. I agree. So I will just figure out a way to jam these together. We'll leave this building as is and make it work. It'll be fine. I think that this is how we do it. Gonna be fun seeing an American talking about the Autobahn. So here's the way that I talked about it. So I'm not directly talking about the Autobahn as much as I'm talking about the Autobahn inspiring the interstate. And I'm talking about the interstate within the context of the build I was working on. And the history of the interstate, why the interstate came to be. So I think it's important and illustrative of a couple of points. And I'm just personally trying to get a little bit more back to talking about stuff like that I already have knowledge on, that I think is interesting, that maybe other people don't, that I could share, that maybe you would enjoy. I think if I were to talk about the Autobahn, I would do Germany dirty, and that wouldn't be right. I don't want you guys mad at me. Any mentions of Eisenhower? Extensively. Eisenhower is probably the president that I go back and forth on, like, my feelings about the most too. Like sometimes I'm like, Eisenhower was a great president. And other times I think Eisenhower made a lot of mistakes. You love the teaching aspects of their own? I appreciate that. They're fun for me. They take a little bit longer. Like I would have been done with this Magnolia County. It would have been probably out today if I wouldn't have put that in. But I've basically redone the episode at this point. Like I've redone the scope. I've divided it up. So I'm talking about roadway layouts. And in particular, in this next one, I'm focusing in on suburban sprawl. But one of the things that has always bothered me, like when I've watched others talk about suburban sprawl, is that they'll say, oh, it's random. Suburban sprawl isn't random. There's nothing random about it. Just because the roadway network doesn't scream logic doesn't mean that there's not a logic behind it. So in this next video, I'm like just straight up explaining the logic behind why suburbia is designed the way it is. Discussing a couple of heavy topics, which like might turn people off. I don't really know. And then just like kind of, going from there and building it based upon those principles. Biggest mistake was trusting Dulles. I mean, one of the things that I think is really impressive about the interstate system is the speed at which the plan was developed. And I do think that reflects on having a military mind behind the plan. Because like they're just not going to deal with inefficiency. And the amount of time that, it would have taken otherwise. That also doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. Just like ram it through, make it happen. You think Madison city borders are very strange? For sure. Madison city borders are based upon, a lot of it is based upon water. In a variety of ways. What can be served by what community can serve water to a neighborhood. That'll change the boundary. Lots of different things. Disney was also built by a former military commander. I didn't realize that. I mean, talk about efficiency. Like they'll get it done. The plan for the interstate took a little over a year, start to finish. The funding, bipartisan funding, in a year. It's kind of mind blowing. Like coming up with the funding for the interstate in a bipartisan way in a year, less than a year. I think it's 9 months. Just blows my mind. And it kind of gives me hope that like in the future, maybe there can be more bipartisan stuff again. One can hope. Talking about white flight. Not talking about white flight as much as redlining, and how redlining was actually baked into suburbia, like into the lending standards. So not explicitly white flight. Certainly a part of it. Make common sense great again. I personally, the part that in this, there is a desire for purity tests and like 100% disagreeing with people, that exists in today's political landscape that I don't agree with. I think that most people exist in a world of gray. You can agree with 95% of a politician and then find one thing that you very much disagree on with them. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I feel like I don't know that I've ever found anyone that completely agrees with me on everything politically, and that's fine. But unfortunately, it's become unacceptable for that reality to exist, and for you to cooperate with someone who you don't agree with. That's a problem. And I feel like it's infected the entire world at this point. Most visible right now in the US. That's why you're in favor of proportional representation? Yeah. No, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. We live in a world where you are with me or against me only. Yeah, that's basically the zero sum outlook on the world is corrosive. Most things are not like that. I think that I think that you can do well if I can do well, and those things can happen independently of one another at the same time, and I can be happy when things go well for you and vice versa. I don't know. Look at the impervious. That's a fair point. I've gone a little hard on the impervious surface area. Okay. Thank you for keeping me honest there. I will take this back a notch. I think the reason I got in that mode is honestly right there. So for anyone who doesn't know what impervious means, basically it's surface that is it's hardscape. So the problem with that is if you have too much hardscape, you can get flooding. So in an area like this, just imagine if it rains, where does the water go? You either have everything go underground in sanitary sewer or in a storm sewer, or you flood. So plazas are great, but the reason why every place cannot be a plaza is because you would flood. Also, every now and then we got to touch grass. So maybe something like I'll bring this over to here, and we'll just like we'll have a lot of impervious, but we gotta take it down a notch. It's probably a little better. We can make that work. Use a lot of permeable paving in the UK. I feel like there's a lot of apprehension, at least where I am, to using it outside of tourist areas. And the big reason, the reason that I hear often from engineers is that they're concerned about needing to clean out the impermeable pavements. The cost, number one, and then the need to clean them out. So it's like a suction system basically. So you have to go through and like vacuum them out, otherwise they become clogged. But I think part of that is like we get too obsessed with things being perfect. You know, like you don't need to worry about it if it looks like this. Then it's probably just fine. If that weren't so dark, I kind of like it. Of course, I screwed this up and I don't have an undo button. Perfect. Ryan, I appreciate you. Hit that like button. Floods might help the impending CPP stream when there's a fire that's about to happen. Gary, I think you're onto something there. That is why I use all the impermeable pavements. That's why I have a massive impervious area. It helps with flooding. I can spur on the floods, which will help with the fires rather. Let the architects worry about perfect from their corner offices. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm going to worry about it too. A couple of years, the streets have permeable cobblestone pavers in the parking lane. Does a great job of narrowing the road visually. That's super smart. That is super smart. That's the other thing. Like, you don't necessarily even have to narrow the roads. You could just have that visual cue like you're talking about there, and that would do the trick. Because oftentimes, and I wonder if that's a point that needs to be made more around here, like they're less concerned about the pavement and than they are the curb and the gutter. Moving that is much more expensive. Planet Coaster 2 has a Control Z button. You wish this game had an undo button. It's the same company. It's a different company. I wish that I wish that we had undo and copy paste functionality in this game. I just realized I've not gone through any activity, and I just heard a noise, and it was Maxwell Smalley on YouTube. Thank you for the 20 gifted subs, dude. Super generous of you. Speed of Snail, thank you for the 3 months of tier 1. Lola, thank you so much for 17 months of tier 1. That is getting serious. DJ John Mary, thank you so much for 17 months of tier 1 as well. Focus, thank you for the prime. eBaked Potato, thank you for the 10 months of tier 1. 9-Bit Dog, thank you for the prime. Nola Fat Cat. Nalu Fat Cat, thank you for the prime. Sean, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, Phil. I got that one. I appreciate you again. I forgot to mention what I use ChatGPT for. I'll tell you in a second. Nielsen, thank you for the prime. Canuck, thank you for 6 months of prime. Sea Dog, thank you for the prime. Luigi's #1 fan, thank you for the prime. Sparky, thank you for 17 months of tier 1. 7 Summer Nights, thank you for the prime. QZ, dude, thank you so much for 15 months of tier 1. Glad you can make it. I'm glad you're here too. Thank you so much. ChatGPT. My brother-in-law suggested I use it for QuickBooks, and it was so helpful during tax season. So helpful. I just asked it questions about how to navigate QuickBooks. And it's the first time I felt like I could actually understand QuickBooks. It's the best use of ChatGPT I've ever had too. These are soothing streams. You really enjoy watching? Thank you. I just hanging out. I love when I'm online when you're at work because it gives you something good entertainment while you're working boring tasks. Bubbly Fizz. Hopefully today's not boring. I don't know that I've been super entertaining on the stream. I've been disconnecting this church. ChatGPT helped me understand QuickBooks quickly. Indeed. It was so helpful. Like, I don't know how to fully express how happy I am that my brother-in-law suggested that, because the thing I've disliked the most about being a creator is straight up like the business part of it. Like, it's really, I never wanted to be a business person, and I have a lot of respect for them because it's not easy. It's very taxes and all of it. It's not fun. But that helped me. What other games have I been playing lately besides CS2? I tried to play Civ 7. I think I don't like it. Still playing Astrobot. Always constantly playing Overcooked, even though I don't like it because my wife makes me. Other than that, not a lot. I've been playing a lot of QuickBooks. Your wife saying it's praises and taking meeting notes? Oh, yeah, I played Matterlords. I've been playing a lot of Matterlords. Civ 7 doesn't have the magic, Vangloris? Yeah, what bothers me about Civ 7 is that I think I like the gameplay more than Civ 6. Like, they went down the right track there. But the idea of having like the rulers change at the ages, different ages, is so fundamentally dumb. that I just can't. It's just such a dumb idea. Like, I just really hate it. I feel like it was like not a good idea at all. It's sad because it also makes me question at this point if I'm a Civ fan anymore. Like it was something that I was like, I'm a big Civ fan. But I didn't like Civ 6 and now I don't like Civ 7. So like, I don't know. Makes me think. You've always liked Civ games and you found your fondness growing over time, Banglorious? Civ 5 like just hit right away. I liked all the Civs. I liked Civ 4 and all the different iterations. I never played 3 or anything before. I don't know that I could. 6 was just a big step backwards for me. You played some PGA 2K25. I actually watched that this weekend. I guess I played NBA 2K. It made me want to play it more because I had so much fun with it. And I went golfing for the first time when I was in the Bay Area. And I'm terrible. But I feel like I could build a golf course now because I actually walked one. So that was interesting. What's my favorite flavor of chips? I don't know if it's a flavor. I just like Sun Chips. Civ 5 top 5 all time for you? Civ 5 is just a banger of a game. There's really no other way of putting it. It's just a phenomenal game. You put in serious hours of Civ 5 during high school? Civ 5 helped me make friends in grad school. Like during studios, one of my buddies in grad school, we would leave. Okay. I don't know if I should be this honest about it. So we had so for anyone who doesn't know, studio it's basically a class where you get to take on a real world project and roll with it. So in my planning studio, there were 2 that I had to do. Requirements, 6 credits. So it's a full half of the required credits for the quarter is in studio. So my first one, it was designing a downtown for a suburban community, which is something that they were actually doing. And then the second one, God, what was my second one? Can't even remember. First one sticks out to me more. Yo, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, in that first one, I met one of my best friends from grad school, and we might have had a box of wine in our locker, and we would when we were done with class, we'd pull it out, have a glass of wine, and play some Civ before going home. So it's the finest way, the classiest way to end your day when you've been working hard at studio. In my opinion, a glass of wine and some Civ. Ooh, golfing, you've never been either. Did I get a chance to do many other things in the Bay Area besides your friend's birthday celebration? Not really. I didn't even get to go to In-N-Out. I felt like I was only there for like a little while. But it was good. I mean, it's one of those things where one of my friends that was there, I realized I haven't seen him in 2 years, and I hadn't realized it had been so long. So, even though I didn't get to do many things while I was there, sometimes it's better just to really soak in being with the people that you're around. So that's what I did. It was nice. The only big regret is the timing stunk. Because of Easter, obviously. So my kids were very sad, but my buddy's kids, I got to spend time with them. And considering I am technically the godfather, I should be there and get to know them, which it was nice to be able to do. Ever considered building a courtyard in CS2 in the middle of those buildings? Yeah, we built one in the last one. I actually went nuts. Had a lot of fun. Built this courtyard here. And this is fully functional. Like that park right there we plopped. Oh, the French came again and destroyed it. I thought I locked it. I thought I locked them all. Thought I locked it. Oh my goodness. That is very frustrating. Well, this was fully functional. We spent a ridiculous amount of time on this. And then I let the corner level up. Thank you though for making me return to this area because now we could fix it. And I will lock it this time. Greetings from Superior. Greetings. Superior is a wonderful town. Obviously, a lot of inspiration from what I do from northern Wisconsin. I know a lot of people who moved to not to Superior, but to Duluth. And I spent a lot of time up on Lake Superior in high school. This looks so good. I just took a lot of time on this and really slowed down. And I feel like these Mediterranean buildings, they look phenomenal. And if you move them around and are okay to clip things a little bit, you can make some really nice natural looking blocks. Not having make historic in the base game is really annoying. I completely agree. But I also so here's where I get mixed emotions because in some cases I'm like, well, it wasn't in the original game either, but it wasn't an idea potentially at that time, and now it is. So like, give it to us. Such a fundamental thing to be able to make things historical. You were really hoping to invite me to your annual big wheel race in the San Francisco on Sunday. You could have, if you would have found me, you'd have had to find me. I did get recognized for the first time on the street when I was in Livermore. And to the person who recognized me, I just want to say that you made my day because you basically made me the coolest guy in the world to my friends. They were like, whoa, does that happen to you all the time? Like, that's never happened to me. No one's ever known who I am. We're just having a beer and a burger. It's awesome. Greetings from Richmond. Greetings. Thank you for being here. I was in Livermore. Sorry. Yeah, my buddy lives in Livermore. At least he doesn't have to, he used to have to commute from there. And I can only imagine how frustrating that must have been. Or I should say, I don't have to imagine. He told me how frustrating it was. And now he doesn't have to. So, seemed like a nice little community. I like the downtown area quite a bit. It was nice. And I didn't know that it had its own element. Even the name Livermore sounds awful. It is a nicer community than the name implies. But it's very, very suburban in character. So if you're not into the suburbs, you probably wouldn't like it all that much. Someone recognized my respect the topography slogan at your local Lowe's last year. You were wearing the tee. That's awesome. He told me, he's like, yeah, someone was talking about you at work one day. I was like, I had no idea. Still bizarre to me. That commute is rough. I mean, I came from SFO to go there and it was like an hour. And that was like with no traffic. So if you had to do it during normal work hours, like, I would be super sad. Super sad. And there's like basically like there's no way to get out there with transit. So you are, which is a shame for an area that has such great transit. Hi from Buffalo. Yankee, thank you for being here. Hopefully you're having a good day. We're just, we plopped the church. It had no relation to the town. We've tried to give it more of a relationship by We're just going to have to imagine that it has a relationship. It doesn't, it's still not fully there. I don't know how we get it there. But this grid is the same as this now. It's two of these put together. We get this really fun block shape, which I dig. Joni, hi. Hopefully you're doing well. Spiffstar, hopefully you're doing well. AI and merch slogans famous. Yeah, that's right. That's right. AI is now recommending my videos. That'll do it. Super chat on YouTube. Thank you. Max, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Greetings from Dubai. Talking of golf, you played Yas Links down the road in Abu Dhabi at the weekend. Just gorgeous. Check it out on Google Maps. Stunning. I will do that. Well, I'll tell you what, Max, I'm going to, I will do one better. I'm not going to do that right now, only because this is going to be a short stream. But I'm going to be building a golf course soon. So I'm going to leave the name of that course in there, and maybe we use it as some inspiration. I think I could also stand to look outside of the US for inspiration for some of these things. So yeah. Any Geoguessr today? Probably one very short round. One very short round. So yeah. And then I'm gonna finish up Magnolia County. I'm on a bit of a roll. Although I feel bad for my editor, because I like, this is probably the slowest episode I've ever recorded. California is beginning to consider a mileage tax on its drivers who supposedly supplant the extreme high gas tax, which you all know is BS. Any thoughts on this? I think that sounds incredibly regressive, if I'm being just totally upfront with you. And I say that from the experience of living in California. I didn't live far away from where I worked because it was a choice. I lived far away from where I worked because I had no choices. So like, to me, you're penalizing people at that point for that. I'm sure that the reason they're going that way is they're thinking of EVs. And I totally get that. And I don't think I fully understood just how many EVs there were in California until this past weekend. It seemed like everyone and their brother had a Tesla, and half of them were very embarrassed. So hey CPP, you don't know if I read these? I do. You've been watching my videos for a long time and you're a huge fan. My channel is part of the reason you play so much City Skylines. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Give us BYD. I don't know that you actually want BYD. So I hear you. The problem is I do. So I think protectionism is bad, but I also think that I think China has been subsidizing some of those industries so hard that they're eliminating the industries in other places. And that gives them the power to jack up the price later on down the line. And they already have unfair advantages, like completely controlling supply chains top to bottom. It's a tough thing. So like, I can agree that like China does bad things when it comes to some of their markets that they take part in it and control unfairly, while also believing that tariffing the entire world is a really dumb idea. Two things can be true. These are my two truths. Something can be bad and you don't have to be an idiot. You don't have to be a total idiot about it. Like you can do it You can have a problem and find a solution that's not stupid. Am I going to add a golf course to Magnolia County or Saguna Beach? I think Saguna Beach. I think Magnolia County could get one too. I think it's just not as big of a goal of mine there. I mean, just reasonably, I was in wine country and it just like fit right in. I also, there have been a couple people in the comments that have been telling me that I've been doing my vineyards wrong. I have been. Now that I've like spent a bit of time, I will fix them. They should be straight. The rows of grapes should be straight. I screwed it up. I apologize. Test drove BYD in Germany, and it really wasn't up to Western quality standards, in your opinion? I mean, reasonably. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I used to have a Tesla. I bought a Tesla a long time ago. Before they were like, when they still would get the full tax credit, right before it went out, I got a Tesla. And it was our primary family vehicle. And I thought the build quality was terrible. Like, I loved that I didn't have to charge it. And then I got rid of it. Because the build quality, like my steering wheel had to be replaced. Terrible. Garbage. The gas tax that already exists is more regressive. Is it though? Is it more regressive? I don't know that it is. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Tesla build quality is notoriously atrocious. Yeah, it was really bad. Like, it was like my steering wheel started bubbling. And it just like always made noise that didn't make sense. I don't really know any other way to put it besides it made noise that didn't make sense. That's exactly why I never bought a Tesla. Got one for a rental. About 10 minutes into your drive, you knew the build quality was crap. Yeah. So, and I think that I got mine at a notoriously bad time because the tax credit was expiring. They had I think mine was made in a tent. And it felt like it was made in a tent. My wife didn't want to drive it. She was like, it's not safe. Autopilot was just absolute trash. Autopilot is one of the things that made me lose faith in self-driving. It's just like, it's terrible. And the fact that that Tesla builds itself as a software company, you know, I have a Ford now, and Blue Cruise is a ton better than Tesla's full self-driving. Like, it's kind of wild. You used to work for Tesla Autopilot. Agreed. I'm sorry, Yankee. I don't understand. I'm not personally attacking you. But I was not a fan. I felt like it was very unsafe. And I don't know. For me, it was all the braking. Like, it would just like brake. Phantom braking nonstop. Japanese cars are the best cars. I had a Mazda back in the day, and I loved my Mazda. I did think that was a quality, felt like it was a very high quality car. Honestly, the main reason I didn't stick with Mazda is I wanted an EV. And at this point, Mazda's EVs are just like kind of laughable. I think that the CX-30 has, honestly, 120 miles of range, which, like, come on, guys. Like, you gotta get real. Like, you can't have 130 miles of range or whatever it is. That's not smart. Full self-driving scares everyone now. Phantom braking is a thing of the past. By far the safest cars for your family. Maybe it is. The problem is, I think it got to where it's at by experimenting on its drivers, and I don't love that. That's not okay. Like, I get it. Like, it's beta, but also, like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that the way that Ford and some other companies are approaching it is just better too. Like, I don't understand the desire to go away from LiDAR. Like, I get the cameras are cheaper, but like, outside of that, like, are the cameras better? And when we're talking about people's lives, is my biggest concern the cost of the camera or the safety of what's happening? I would say safety every time. Fully EV is a trend. Hybrid plug-in is a way better solution. Oh, hard disagree there, Dalton. I agree in principle. But the problem is now you have twice as many points of failure. I think plug-in hybrids are a great interim solution. They're a great way to get people on board with EVs, because then you have the opportunity to plug in at home and you start to realize, oh, I don't have to ever pay for gas. That's amazing. I don't think it's, I used to believe that they were the best of both worlds. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that going full EV is probably significantly better, but you also have to have infrastructure, and there's a lot of, having an EV only really works, in my opinion, if you also own your home and can have charging at home. So you have to be in a relatively privileged position to be able to do it right now, which is why it doesn't work for most people. And it sucks that I'm seeing like the Model 3 that I had, you could now get used for like $10,000 in my area. But unfortunately, it's like the brand has become toxic, and I don't see that changing ever at this point. Thoughts on Waymo? They're using LiDAR. I have very positive feelings about Waymo. I don't believe in a camera-based system, at least not with current technology. I'm not saying it's never possible, but I do think it's more challenging. The apartments around you now all have EV chargers. Some do around me. Problem is, not all do, and not a majority do, and now you end up, limited on your options. And at least around me, the public options are good. They're not perfect. And in the winter, brutal. What's my opinion of public transport in Europe? It's wonderful. The fact that I find it to be endlessly frustrating that there's a lot of self-congratulatory thinking in the U.S. about being an American, when there are things that are just like objectively better about other places. We don't try to learn from it. And one of those places is public transportation. And just honestly, transportation infrastructure generally in Europe. It just feels like a modern place compared. It feels like you go back in time. Like, it's kind of like people here have asked me, they're like, what does Finland feel like to you? And I said, Finland feels like a happier, more modern version of Wisconsin. Outside of that, it felt very much like home. It wasn't like, it felt like, it just felt like it was more modern. And a big part of that was the infrastructure. Infrastructure is really good. Whoever makes a better battery wins trillions of dollars for EVs. Yeah, for sure. It is going to be interesting. You read about like the solid state battery tech that's like on the horizon. And it does make you think that every EV that's out right now is going to be obsolete the moment that solid state battery tech is actually viable. Because I don't like, at that point, for anyone who's of the solid state, it'll dramatically extend the range that these vehicles can have. Dramatically extend it. Like, talk about going from like 300 to 800 miles. 300 is exceptional right now. It's kind of like that magic number that people need for range. And it's also like kind of the best you can do right now, unless you spend a ton of money. Toyota claims they're close on solid state. I mean, that'd be impressive, but they also haven't really been doing anything with EVs. That's wild to me that they would make that claim. Maybe they just been keeping it real quiet. Dealing with EV chargers and parking garages, things at work now, and it's way more complex than it seems at face value. The electrical infrastructure for existing garages is typically not capable of handling the added capacity. The structures are often difficult to add, and the infrastructure to it without major issues. And there's often already concerns with structural handling and the added weight of hundreds of EV batteries. Not a critique of the idea so much as a view of its complexity. I completely agree. And I hadn't really considered in a serious way the added weight of the batteries to the parking structures. That said, it's not just EVs that are heavier. That was one of the things that stuck out to me about Savannah is you got these historic old, maybe historic something. You have these parking structures shoehorned into historic areas, and they are tight and they are small. And it's the South, and people like trucks. And you had these gigantic trucks in these parking garages. And it just kind of blew my mind, like that, first of all, that people could get trucks in there. And I hadn't even fully considered, like, oh my goodness, from a weight standpoint, what does this mean? For you to get an EV, you'd have to majorly upgrade your home or move. Well, so I think that's where solid state could come in. So if solid state provided a ridiculous amount of range, I just saw someone mention hydrogen. I think it would put hydrogen, all of the thoughts of hydrogen out to the wayside. And if you had 600 miles of range in an EV, then I think it completely changes the paradigm there. I will say, though, one of the things that worries me, it's probably a stupid worry, is that, you get, that's more range than you get in a lot of other vehicles. And I do wonder if it's very cheap, if it incentivizes driving a lot. And we'll have to see if I'm just being a worry wart there. It would also make for very, very nice transit vehicles, solid state batteries. Because that's been a thing here during the winter. Like, BRT is EV, and it was always known it was going to be a problem to have EVs in the coldest days of the year. And of course it is. Also, we have enough lithium to support. Do we have enough lithium to support this many batteries now? Or, yeah, well, so that's a funny question. From my understanding, didn't they just find a new lithium deposit in Nevada? Which is actually kind of, if I'm being a worrywart, another reason to be concerned that we find this, at least for the US, this domestic source of lithium. And as a result, we don't pursue better technologies. Not in a serious way, but maybe all the pressure from BYD will change that. And I mean, there's going to be pressure from European makers as well. I would assume they're not gonna say, you know what, the Americans have lithium, so we're just gonna, especially when we're tariffing everybody. That's super helpful. Is there a list with mods that I used in this build? This is basically Segunda Beach. So if you go to Paradox Mods, I've put together a Segunda Beach fake save file that I'm keeping up to date, create a new playlist, subscribe to that mod set, and yeah, then you can use it. This is the wrong corner. Darn it. Thinking about potential future tech in transit. It's so weirdy that no one talks about pushing autonomous vehicles and city buses. Oh, they talk about it for sure. They talk about it for sure. One of, at least where I am though, that is super controversial. Listen, if it becomes a thing, it's gonna, if the tech is there, it will become a thing. But the drivers' unions are very powerful. And it's kind of just fundamental to the way that transit works, at least in the US. So that's going to be a big thing. I mean, and that was as a part of negotiations. Like every single time that there's a transit union negotiation, basically anywhere, you better believe that they are talking about automation and trying to fend it off. But I think it's like anything. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's like, you know, you might not like ChatGPT, but you would be an awful fool. You'd be awful foolish to take a principled stand and never use it, because at some point it's just going to be accepted and you're just going to be left behind. In London, there's a shortage of drivers. Yeah, like I think the question is that a temporary thing or is that a permanent thing? Like, is it like it's tough. I don't know. Earth Angel, thank you so much for the tier 1. Love my streams. Thank you for the great content. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the long-term support. 17 months is wild. Topher, thank you for 4 months of Prime. You log in at Twitch to use your Prime sub? Thank you. Thank you, Topher. Appreciate you. Keep up the great content. I appreciate you. Mr. Bully and the Department of Numismatics. Thank you for becoming a planning director over on YouTube. Appreciate you. Am I a Packer fan? Do I love cheese? Do I put sour cream on everything? Do I have a tub of cottage cheese in the other room? These are all great questions that have simple answers. Cracker, have a good night. Thank you for being here. Go Lions, go Blue. Hard pass on that. Gary, you're amazing. Yeah, but everything. But that one thing. We all have flaws, though. Not sure if it's good to get rid of humans completely. Drivers, pilots are a failsafe for something really out of the ordinary. If something really out of the ordinary happens, I mean that was always the conversation. So like when I worked at the Department of Transportation, we had lots of different. I went to whole seminars, multi-day seminars on autonomy and autonomous driving, and there's always a thing. So Wisconsin has an EV proving ground for autonomous driving, a racetrack. Because of our climate. And the problem with it is edge cases. We have 1 million edge cases because of our climate. So yeah, I would love to believe that it'll there's a way to figure it out. And my feeling on autonomous driving is they're going to figure it out. But the problem is going to be getting, I think that there are 2 problems. Autonomous driving will be best when there are no humans on the road. Getting there to be no humans on the road is going to be a problem. Like, people like to drive. People don't trust computers. And if your car is a computer, they don't trust their car now. And without that, the humans both are better at the edge cases and the creators of the edge cases. So it's tough. Am I going to be in the draft in Green Bay this weekend? No. No, I got a buddy who's going to be there. But no, I not me. I've been gone so much. This weekend, actually, I'll show you guys what I'm doing this weekend. It's actually, I'm going to be here probably with my kids for a little while. My wife has a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I've got something here that I've been delaying for a long time. A bunch of sound paneling I got to put up. So I'll probably spend a bit of time doing that. Bill's looking great. Thank you, Sonny. I just taking it slow, having a good time with it. I've got to watch your most recent video. Keeps coming up in my recommended. And I was going to watch it on the flight, but I fell asleep. Oh my goodness. Speaking of that, I'm going to build one more block, and I got to tell you the craziest story that has ever happened to me. On a flight. It might be one of the craziest things that ever happened. I mean, it happened to me on the first flight to San Francisco. I've been having a bad run of flights. So the flight from Finland coming back, I got trapped in Chicago. I was there in Chicago longer than I was flying back from Finland. Going to the Bahamas, my daughter got motion sickness and threw up all over the plane. And going to San Francisco, I went blind. Temporarily blind, which I didn't know was a thing. I made a really poor choice. And I decided I didn't sleep the night before I went to San Francisco. I left Madison at 2 a.m., got to Chicago a little bit before 4. I slept in the airport for an hour. And then if I could sleep on my entire flight, I'd have 6 hours. So I decided not to drink any water at the airport. And instead emptied out and thought I'll just fall asleep the entire flight. So I wake up halfway through and I open my eyes and I can't see anything at all. And I don't mean like it's blurry and I'm like a little bit off. Like I opened my eyes and it was pitch black with like little vague bits of color in the background. And I realized what it's like to be blind for the first time in my life. Like you talk to people about being blind, or you have a description of being blind, but I was literally blind. So I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have my wife with me or anything. The seat next to me was open. I'm not ashamed to admit this. My first reaction was I felt tears like starting to come down my eyes out of panic. So I feel a tear kind of like going down my face, and I just put my head down because like I don't want to freak. And then I kind of compose myself, and I lift my head up, and I can see a little bit more. And I had started to sweat a whole bunch, like I was really panicking. But then I lifted my head up, and I could see more colors and more light. So then I put my head down for about 10 minutes, and I lifted my head up, and I could see everything, but it was blurry. So they came around just and offered me a water, like not because I looked like I needed one, but because that's what they were doing. And after I drank the water, I was fine. And I had texting on the flight, so I texted my wife, and she looked it up, and it's flash blindness. Apparently, if you are dehydrated and you go up a lot in altitude, you can go blind temporarily. So word to the wise, if you're going to fly, do not dehydrate yourself before you fly. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done. I will never do that again. I had a window seat and I was downing water. The lady who sat next to me on the way home looked very uncomfortable as I was just like drinking bottles of water as fast as I could. Your dad worked at a pulp mill? Okay, that's not crazy that I'm not okay, but yeah, it was gone in like 15 minutes. Scary? Yeah, it's very scary. How would I put the church next to a roundabout? How about you put the church next to the roundabout? It's right there already. You're drinking a whole gallon of water before you fly out. Yeah, like, yeah. I will forever bring a water bottle. I think now. I didn't know that was a thing. So learn from my mistake. Do not drink too much water, you'll get water poisoning. Yes. You got vertigo the other day due to dehydration? It was really awful. Head spinning? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it can go in a whole bunch of different directions. Do not dehydrate and fly. Exactly. Lee plays City Builders. Thank you for being here. I saw that you just supported me on YouTube. Thank you. Appreciate you. Me being responsible now, thinking that you want your... me being responsible, thinking I now want to try being blind. I don't think you want to. And I will say, a new respect and appreciation for everyone who is. That is... I had a lot of things flash through my head. Like, I'd never see my kids again. Like, it's a weird, like, never really had that thought, you know, like, I don't know. It also made me think, like, my grandpa, he lost an eye in Vietnam. Or not even Vietnam, like prep for Vietnam. And I never really fully, I guess, thought about how, like, he never really talked about losing an eye. You know what I mean? Like, not something you're super excited to talk about, but like having one, like how fortunate he must have felt, how scary it must have been to lose one at all. Whole thing makes me wish I would have talked to him more about things like that. You get migraines from not drinking enough? I've only had one migraine. I don't know why I got it. It was when I was testing at 2K. Never want another one either. Those are also rough. Hopefully you don't get them often. Your solution for public bathroom anxiety was travel Clorox wipes. So I don't have anxiety about the bathrooms. I have shame because I like the window seat, because I like to look out the windows and look at the cities from above. And I feel bad asking people to move, particularly when it's not my wife or kids. So that was the main reason that's one of the main reasons I try not to go to the bathroom on the flight. But for this one in particular, it was 100% that I wanted 6 hours of sleep. And I thought that this was the way. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. We're good. I actually don't think we have a fire department here. We can't afford one. Temporarily, I'm gonna sneak a French fire station in here. We will plan on getting rid of this. You get them regularly, sadly, self-inflicted. Well, I guess at least you know how to stop them if you get them regularly. Fires go up by themselves eventually. Who needs a department? That's true. That's my line of thinking. That's the Verde Beach right there. Most of the time you chug your water in your TSA line and refill it post security. So I found out that TSA pre was one of the perks of my credit card, and I got it. And TSA is just so fast now. I don't even think I would do it because I don't have to. TSA pre is amazing. Anyone who travels more than like once a year, I'd highly recommend it for. It's so awesome. You can't fly without Xanax? I actually enjoy flying. I like it. Like I enjoy looking down at cities and imagining what the place on the ground is like. And, you know, just the whole thought of it being possible for humans to be in the sky. It's fascinating to me. See, I like it. But that was pretty scary. that has changed my perspective on flight a little bit. Noise canceling headphones are super helpful for uniplane. Oh, same. So when I'm on a flight, hold on. When I'm on a flight, I look absolutely crazy. I wish I had I'll bring the picture one of these days. My wife took this picture of me. I usually have noise canceling headphones on along with my sleep mask. So I am fully like in my element. Like I will enjoy my look out the window. And then I will just like, if you ever see me on a flight, I look absolutely crazy. I don't really care. Michael Jordan's left foot. You're working on getting a pilot's license right now. Ironically, you hate being a passenger. I get that though. You know, like, it's like, I think back to, there are some people that I can't ever remember them being a passenger. They don't like that, like in a car, like you don't want to ride, you don't want to ever be the rider. I feel like I'm even like that a bit. Like whenever my wife and I go somewhere, like I'm almost always the driver. And that's like, I don't know. I think I don't do it as, I don't do it as often as she does. So I don't mind it when I do. And she has to sit in traffic. So. Comedian Craig Ferguson became a pilot because he was afraid of flying. Okay. That is a pretty hardcore way of dealing with your fear. Mad props to him. That's sick. Most people wouldn't do that. It's like if I have any irrational fear, I am not a strong swimmer. It's just never something that like I've been good at. Even though where I went to high school, we were forced to do swimming for a quarter of the year. So I got certified to save people from icy lakes. I still don't love it. Like, yeah, I do it? Sure. Would I like it? Not at all. And I don't like, that didn't help me. Then again, flight's a totally different thing. Noise cancellation of Sleep Max is how you do. Yeah, that is like, I don't know. I think so that was the other interesting thing. Like when I came out of the whole, like when I woke up blind, I had my sleep mask on. So I pulled it off and I was just like shocked. Cause it was like, at first I thought I was dreaming. Cause it's like, I have to be dreaming. Cause there's no way that I can't see. I took off my sleep mask. This won't look perfect and I'm just going to deal with it. I just want this block filled in. You do the opposite noise canceling headphones. You prefer to be very aware of your surroundings and use bone conducting headphones for travel. So if you have AirPods, they kind of do. I don't know what bone conducting headphones are, but they have a transparency mode. So I like them because I can go back and forth. And if you ever see someone with AirPods and you think that they can't hear you, they might actually really be able to hear your conversation because it's being amplified. Just know that. You were afraid of heights and water and wound up becoming a rescue swimmer in the Navy on a dare in boot camp. That is truly hardcore. That's awesome. That is awesome. Those are also like, that's like, I got over heights I don't know how you get that's wild, Gary. That is wild. You're a wild man. Yeah, I don't know what bone conducting is. And does it like touch your head and as a result you can hear it through your bone? Don't know. I'm very curious now. You have a panic of heights, but you love flying? But only drone pilot, not planes? I mean, the heights thing, I will feel that sometimes like in video games. Like I still don't love heights. I got better. I think living in Colorado, if you're to climb any mountains, you gotta kind of get over it. Did Mr. Mike from Dr. Mike from YouTube learn how to fly because of his fear of heights too? Flying is one of the few things that I think, like being a pilot, like I think it's one of those careers I have a ton of respect for because you can't ever make a mistake. Like as a planner, I've made mistakes. As a YouTuber, I've made mistakes. As a fry cook at McDonald's, I made mistakes. As a pilot, if you make a mistake, you kill yourself or other people. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. So there's a different level of, different level of stress. Same with air traffic controller. Anything to do with flying. Crazy respect for all those folks. You use a bone conduction headset. You get total hearing loss from diabetes. It transfers the sound right into your jawbone. Oh, that's wild. What is my opinion of content creators who build cities in Minecraft? I don't watch a lot of Minecraft content. The only content that I really watch is Mog Swamp. We interacted in some YouTube stuff, and I just think he's a very nice guy. And I like his energy. Otherwise, I don't watch a lot of Minecraft stuff, honestly. My kids kind of ruined me to it because if you're my age and you have kids that watch Minecraft, it's just like, all right, now I'm done. You've ruined it for me. One time you had a problem with heights was when you were on the Sagrada family whilst hung over. Oh yeah. Hung over with heights. Not good. Not good. Corrales did amazing rustic Minecraft series. When he did City Skylines. That's how he found the game. So Corrales, I've watched some of Corrales' stuff. Very pleasant demeanor. But I wasn't really watching YouTube at that time, if I'm being completely honest with you. So like I missed a lot of the really interesting, like when Biffa was doing Minecraft, like I guess I wasn't really all that aware of YouTube, which sounds crazy to say at this point, but I just wasn't. Yeah. You've started death in Minecraft? I have as well. Have I fixed the direction of the church? No, the church is going to stay like this. The way that we resolved the church was to take the grid and turn it towards the church so that it's not the same. It's oriented in the same direction. So what that does is it means that when you come down in this street, you do see the church. So that's something. But yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. This will probably be the best that we get it. I think ideally it would have been great if this roundabout would have been pointing at the church, but this isn't bad either. You leave the roundabout and you walk to the church. Kind of feels like it's its own little secluded thing. I feel like we're going to have to add maybe some, I don't know if Eastern European assets are going to work, but I feel like we need to have some sort, like this area right here. The reason why I didn't build here is I feel like we need some support buildings for the church. Like, you know, maybe where you know, the priests would live, different buildings associated with this. So we'll have to figure that out in the next one. But I feel like there's a little bit more synergy than what we had before, which is just like this doing its own thing off in the corner. And I do like the idea of it being on this little peninsula right there. Feels like the city's here because of the church now. Like maybe the church is the reason why it's all a thing. Biffa, we were just talking about you. Hi, Biffa. Biffa, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'll just show you at some point. It's not gonna be now. It'll be a little while from now. Hopefully you're doing all right, Biffa. I've been enjoying your Skylines videos. His ears were burning. must have been Poplar. Well, for anyone who's hopping in, we'll be, I think we're going to be hopping the Geoguessr in a second. And because Biffa's here, if Biffa sticks around, we'll do the UK. We basically built this area today. And we're working our way towards the shore. Honestly, I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel like our Rome-inspired area is looking a little better than the abandoned New Dresden over here. Then again, it also has no industrial, and we haven't been doing anything with that. You literally logged on and heard your name. Yeah. You know, you're a popular topic of conversation, Biffa. You're much loved around these parts. Came back from a wedding in Liverpool and on the train, threw up so many times. That feels like a different conversation. Speak of Biffa and he appears. We didn't say his name 3 times, but here he is anyway. Okay, guys, I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna publish it immediately. Give me a second. And then we're going to do a round of Geoguessr. And then I'm going to finish Magnolia County because my editor is probably wondering what's going on. I don't even know that I told my editor that I'm streaming. So if you're listening right now, you know who you are. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you. As I take a week to make this video. You ready for Geoguessr? Have I got nothing else to talk about? You can't stop for Geoguessr this week. That's fine. We'll just do a world and we'll wait. We'll do a world and we'll wait. Biffa, it's been a little while. How are you? I don't want to call you out, but I'm curious. Hopefully you're doing well. We've got to sit down and chat one of these days. Really appreciate the new publishing system. Thank you. I am glad that you're liking it. I feel very dumb for not realizing that this was a thing. For anyone who doesn't know, basically I'm updating my previous New Dresden save. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to be deleting almost all of it just so that you guys know. The only stuff I won't delete the individual saves for is going to be the Ultimate Beginner's Guide. But eventually there will be one Segunda Beach, one Magnolia County, and just like this, one New Dresden. And I'll update it for 7. Boom. That's it. That's the goal. Lenny, thank you for the support, buddy. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs over on Twitch. Mohammed, thank you so much for 12 months of tier 3. Sorry to be late. Thank you for being here, dude. Thank you for the long-term support. Rookie Thomas, thank you so much for the biddies. Good evening from Europe. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Blue Angel, thank you for 4 months of Prime. Freak, thank you for 17 months. Tier 1. Power Brad, thank you so much for the Prime. Seriously, guys, thank you for all the support. It means a lot to me. And thank you for the hype train. I miss them when I'm looking at ground control. I don't see them, so now I see it coming up. I've got to fix my thing. Mohammed, thank you, dude. Mohammed, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. For anyone who just got those, I have nothing to share with you right now, but I'm hoping that tomorrow or the day after the next Magnolia County will be out, and it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a really good one. So stay tuned for that. Hey, CPB, just finished watching all the Magnolia County videos, and you think that since Bend is becoming a bigger city, those bridges from Bend to East Bend need to be bridges that are more grand. Remember the name of the next DLC, the first DLC. Remember the name of the first DLC. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I will tell you, I've not seen the new DLC. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's really releasing. I don't know. But what I will say is I know it's about bridges and ports. So as a result, there are a variety of things. Like Gary even brought up, I was gonna make a big port in Saguna Beach, and Gary said, "Well, don't you want to pump the brakes on that and hold off until the DLC comes out?" Gary single-handedly is the reason why the build has changed. Because of what Gary said, the dam in the previous episode, that's now a thing. We're probably going to be working on the golf course. There's going to be a whole bunch of different things because I'm waiting. So, Gary, good work. Good work. So yeah, I agree. Bend needs better bridges. Bend will get better bridges, but I'm going to wait and see what we get. I think that's another reason why, like Charity Bay, like we're not doing anything there for a little while because the whole thing could be redone. Boo golf courses. Well, sure. Golf courses are an absolutely asinine use of land. I can agree with that, but I will also say I very much enjoyed golfing this weekend. And not only that, they exist. I'm building something. Oh my goodness. The next build, I'm gonna get yelled at so much. So many people are gonna hate the build. And also many of you are gonna think it's wonderful because it's realistic. The only golf you personally engage in is mini golf. So I've said the same thing, but you know what I really loved about golfing was whacking the ball as hard as I could and just watching it fly. And apparently I have a decent amount of power, 0 accuracy. And apparently my buddy at one point looks at me and he goes, "You know that you hit a golf ball just like Billy Madison." And apparently I like lean into it like with one foot and then just launch it in the wrong direction. It's wonderful. You love Top Golf? I had never been to a Top Golf. I would go. Gary, dude, thank you for the gifted subs, dude. And Lenny, thank you for the biddies. Super generous of both of you. Hit ball man happy. Exactly. The only thing I was disappointed in is I didn't realize that I had to order my beer before I went out. I did not do that. As a result, no beer for me. But honestly, after going blind on a flight, maybe I shouldn't be drinking beer in the golf course. So, Habit Gilmore is a Sandler movie about golf. No, maybe that was what it was. That was what it was. Bono, make sure you go into the Discord so you get into the secret area where I post videos early. For anyone who just got to get the sub. Also, hold on. Let me. I'll show you the thing. But we're gonna do world. We'll do one round real quick. I want to show you. Someone asked what I was doing this weekend, and it's here. So give me 1 second. I have about 30 feet of this. Basically, the whole wall behind, the whole wall in front. There's a really bad echo in this room. So I'm going to put up a whole bunch of these. Unfortunately, due to tariffs, the real wood is out. The painted wood look is in, but it's going to do the trick. So it's going to be, yeah, nice guitar. So yeah, and then once that's done, I can actually make the video about this office. Oh yeah, the price was so much more expensive. I added it all to the cart, and I was just like, oh my goodness, can't do it. Can't do it. It was 4 times more than it was the last time that I went to do it. It was wild. Thanks for the hype train, guys. Thank you. Thanks, seriously. We're doing world. Don't know where in the world we are. Safe bet's always Finland. There's no trees here. Not very many. Just collected twigs from outside and build a facade. Just collect the twigs. Yeah. That would be an approach. I'd have more real wood look then. It's honestly, it's fine. The more I thought about it, like, this is just fine. Petra Stone Collection. I want to know who that is now. We're in Norway, right? For sure. Probably the UK. Iceland, not Norway. I'm gonna have to roll with it and believe in you. We'll go right outside the biggest city, which is probably not right. It's perfect. We're gonna lock it in. Iceland. It's world, so it's still close. No, it's not close. Dang it. Christchurch, New Zealand in chat. Peter, thank you for being here. Hopefully you're doing all right. Also, Peter, if you are around on Thursday, I will have a much better stream time for you because we're streaming twice this week. Shorter streams, but more frequent. We'll see how it works. You've been to Eastern Iceland, long story. So that's how you knew? Is that the part of Iceland to see? That's the real question. Got the country right? That's how I feel. Like, I don't feel super confident just yet. I haven't seen any language of any kind here. Which makes me feel like I'm going to get this wrong unless I find something. Oh, there's words. Spanish. So it could be basically anywhere in South America. It's Balkan. It's not Spanish. It's hella Balkan. I mean, at first I was thinking the Eastern European content creator pack. But we'll go with hella Balkan. Romania. I'll take that. I'm still in the top third. I'll take it. Romania or Spain. You thought Balkan until that little sign. That's my goal. My goal is just to throw you guys off and then read what chat has to say and go with it. Thailand. What does this sign say? This is gonna the same sign. It's pointing to the same thing. Something of notoriety up here. Hella Balkan indeed. Wherever this is, it looks real cool. Is that Malaysia? This is Malaysia for sure, right? Yeah, that is a twist. Like, we're like, it seems like we're in a rural area. I think. Wait a minute. We couldn't be looking at Singapore, could we? We couldn't be looking at Singapore. That would be crazy. Jolin Straits view. Oh, no. What is this called? What is this called? What is this called? I feel good. I don't care. Oh my, I don't even care that Brandon's in first at this point. I feel so good about that one. I feel so good about that one. Yeah, I feel good about that one. That's all I needed. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we were looking at Singapore. That was good. I like that. The Church of God 7 Day. Migos service station. We couldn't be in Florida, could we? The real question is, how many Florida men are around? There's gotta this. Is this Florida? Looks Caribbean. It does. So we're in Puerto Rico potentially. This is definitely U.S. I think we're in Puerto Rico. I think you guys are right. U.S. Virgin Island? The Midwest? I think you might be right. Where are there chickens on the road? That's the real question. I'm going to say a suburb of San Juan. Virgin Islands, you guys are right. Thankfully, it's all very close. Wow. Now I need to go to the Virgin Islands at some point. Those gas prices, how bad were they? It was those Apex gaming PCs. Throwback. There are chickens in the road in Miami. I need to get to Miami. I feel like I didn't see the best of what Florida had to offer. The only place I've been in Florida is Panama City Beach. And it is a place where you could go on spring break. It's fine. Key West. My wife, when she went, okay, I feel like this has got to be very helpful. We're in the Middle East. My guess would be. Jordan? We're in Jordan. You guys are very helpful. And there's an airport. So I bet you that we're near here. I feel like that's as close as I get in 3 seconds. This is all because of you guys. Thank you. That's very helpful. 6.6 miles is very good. Total standings. Oh. Diocane. Good game. Brandon. Good game. Blub. Good game. Bob Constructor. Good game. And I guess good game to myself as well. Trekkie. Good game. Even when I do well, Brandon's there. Show me who's boss. I appreciate that. You've never done so well? Bob. Just killed it. And the distance between Bob, between you and me was a lot. You and the next person, very little. That was impressive. Well, you actually, the top The top. Wow. Very, very close. That's impressive. Good game, everybody. Good game, everybody. We are going to end it here. The area code was 340. Oh, for Virgin Islands. Lenny, you're top 11. There you go. You're good. Good job. Dude, guys, had such a great time streaming today. I think I want to know how you guys feel about the shorter, more frequent streams. I don't know if I can promise that I can do them, but like, do you like the shorter streams that are just like you get them every week maybe, or would you rather wait every other week and have a 5 to 6 hour mega stream? Thanks for the stream. You'll take whatever you can get. Love the short streams. Only downside to a shorter stream is less beer, or do you just drink faster? Just drink faster. Or you just drink Tim Hortons in the morning. Try to join the stream on Thursdays. Love the content I produce. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Easier to watch a full short stream, long streams, or you just wait for the VODs? Absolutely. I get that. I totally get that. I tell you what, you can co-sign for drinking faster. Do it, Lenny. I'll see if I can pull it off. We'll see how Thursday goes. My biggest problem is cutting myself off. I went 20 minutes longer than I said I was going to, but that's still, this is the shortest. Oh, actually it's only 9 minutes. I did a good job. I did something good. You love some New Zealand friendly times, even if they're short. So Panda, that's Thursday stream will be a night stream for me. So that should be a great time for you. Should be a very good time. Saguna Beach, you miss it? I also miss Saguna Beach. There's some things I got to do before we get back to it. Anyway, we're going to say goodbye to YouTube, and then we're going to raid someone on Twitch. So can we give YouTube some hearts before we just disconnect them and say goodbye? Great. See you then. Good. See you then. See you on Thursday. And thank you for giving YouTube the hearts. They'll get them in 15 seconds. See you, YouTube. Bye-bye. Don't go anywhere, Twitch. Don't leave. All right. And I don't even know who's on right now, so just give me a second.